Welcome to a very interesting new video from DK Custom Products. My name is Kevin. This is Dwayne, and this is going to be a video about our time at the 83rd Sturgis Rally in 2023.
So, as you can see, we're back. We're back from Sturgis, and
we're alive.
Yeah, nothing bad happened. I can't think of a single bad thing that happened other than.
I can, but we can't talk about that.
Okay. Well, it rained. The first, half of the rally was raining, and I'm sure if you watch any Sturgis video, that was the main complaint about it. It put a damper on things, but still, it was a great time. I had a great time. You know, we were posting videos daily from Sturgis as we were just wanting to share the experience with you guys. So we're just gonna we're just gonna give you a brief recap of what we did daily and some of the things we learned along the way that I went into the rally by, obviously I'm just like you guys. Whenever you go somewhere, you wanna research it, look it up. I watch YouTube videos, watch other people's reviews of it. So I went into it with these preconceived notions that were completely just wrong. I was just wrong about it. And we'll get into that a little later in the video, but let's talk about what we did day one. Day one.
Well, my day one started like 7 days before your day one. I got there early because Mary and I had been on a trip, and rather than come all the way home just to turn all the way back up and go back up there, I just went ahead and set up camp, I think 7 days before you got there. There was hardly anybody there when I got there. And then we'll just go real quick through, I think 5 or 6 days where I went to downtown Sturgis and showed, even 7 days ahead of time, most everything was set up or in the process of getting set up. And while we're at it, we'll put a playlist of all of our Sturgis videos will be up in the corner here. So you can see it getting busier and busier as time goes by. Then on the 4th of August, Dwayne showed up.
That's right.
And we'd had good weather. All the time that I got there, like on the 27th, all the way up to the 4th, we'd had good weather, maybe a few sprinkles. Wasn't really hot. No rain to speak of. Dwayne got there. 2 hours, and it was nice. And 2 hours after he got there, it started raining, and it didn't stop for 2 days.
No. So the very first thing we did before we even went back to camp is we went to the Buffalo Chip, which I had never been there. I've only seen videos on YouTube, and got our press credentials, our content creator passes, and all that good stuff. And we're made aware of a content creator meetup at the Big Engine Bar outside of the Buffalo Chip the very next day. So of course we went, and there was a lot of Her Two Wheels, this Adam Sandoval, all the big content creators were there. So it was a fun time, and they were doing games like slow races on mini bikes, and there's all kind of games with other content creators, and just a big party essentially.
That was the 5th.
That was the 5th.
Then on the 6th we had our first meet and greet again at the Big Engine Bar.
Right.
Before the meet and greet, there was the Flying Pistons benefit breakfast, and you can see all the people that donated and supported at the breakfast.
Mm-hmm. We met Mama D. She was cool.
Yeah, and she's ridden up to Alaska by herself. Mm-hmm. Ridden up to Alaska 5 or 6 times. She's
something
ready
like that.
To do it again.
Yeah, she wrote. Yeah. She even has a book. She wrote. She even signed a copy for me, and she was great to meet her. And hell, we even met the owner of the Buffalo Chip there. Like, we were rubbing shoulders with, everybody. And it was a great time. And then, of course, we had our first meet and greet that day. So, we met up with some of our subscribers and everything. And just a great time overall.
And then when we were leaving, of course, it was raining. And as we were leaving out in the parking lot, we ran across Scooter Tramp Scotty.
Yeah, very cool, dude.
And I've been watching his videos and reading his articles in Easy Rider magazine for probably a couple of decades.
Yeah.
And so that was good to meet him and set up a time to meet him later in the week when we wouldn't all be standing out in the rain, because he was just getting there and we were leaving.
Right. And then later on that day, still raining, of course, but you're in Sturgis to ride. So that's what we did. We rode up to Deadwood. We checked it out, got something to eat in Deadwood, rode back, in the rain and just chilled out for the next day in preparation to return to Deadwood. We went to Deadwood Custom Cycles and had our second meet and greet. And I think that was our biggest meet and greet. So we had a lot of people come out, and we do definitely appreciate, by the way, every one of you that came out to the meet and greet. I don't feel that I'm important enough for you to travel across the road to meet up with. So the fact that you took time out of your vacation to come hang out with us, that was great. So I definitely appreciate that.
Also at that meet and greet, Chuck was there with the 131, and we did a video with him because the previous video I'd done with him was just,
I don't know.
Audio was horrible.
I don't know if he didn't have the mic plugged in or what. So that video was terrible, but we will still put it in the corner above. And then we'll also, following that link, there will be a link to the most updated interview we did with Chuck. And he has the 131 in the Tri-Glide and possibly the first Tri-Glide, M8 Tri-Glide 131 out there. That's debatable, I guess. But it's a quick bike. It's a badass bike. And we did an interview with Chuck in the corner above. Speaking of interviews, the following day, we went to the Beaver Bar and met up with your buddy Clammy.
right outside of the Glencoe campground. In Glencoe, you have Buffalo Chip, then the Glencoe campground, and then Sturgis. And so Glencoe campground and the Beaver Bar are like almost dead center between the Buffalo Chip and Sturgis.
Yeah. And the Beaver Bar was like just a pop-up fly-by-night, huge tent.
Humongous,
Like if you watch, in fact, we did an interview with Clammy, and if you pay close attention, you'll see the lighting changes because the sun would come over the tent and then clouds would cover it and go away. So it goes from like dark to light. But the Beaver Bar, check it out. It's a cool place.
And you can see the video that we did with Clammy up in the corner here. And after we left there, we went to One-Eye Jack's in downtown Sturgis and had our third and last meet and greet of the rally.
Right, and we had the meet and greet upstairs. And if you've ever been upstairs at One-Eye Jack's, it's a situation. But that was a great time, and again, we appreciate everybody that came out and hung out with us there as well. But then the meet and greets, they were over, and it was time to get out and do some riding. The rain was gone, the clouds were gone, the sun was out, it was hot as hell, but we went riding.
After riding through Sturgis and getting some footage, Dwayne was gone for a while.
Yes.
And then some footage showed up.
We'll give you a short clip of the footage, but yeah, I met up with some guys, some New Zealanders, and then also some people we work with in the industry, and we just went out just to see what nightlife was like in Sturgis, and it did not disappoint. So, you know, if you're into that or not, if you go to the rally at least one night, go out. You won't regret it. You'll see some things you didn't know you were going to see. You'll see some things you don't want to see, but it'll still be a good time.
And then the next day, the 9th, we spent our time riding Needles Highway, Iron Mountain, and that was fun and interesting, but just a huge amount of traffic.
It was, and in particular, we put a short out there on TikTok and YouTube, and it got some polarizing responses. The short was this damn car going about 5 miles per hour, and we understand it's a rally, not a race. But Kevin and I had passed this car about an hour and a half earlier in the day. And this car was sightseeing and would just slow down almost to a dead stop with hundreds of motorcycles behind them and take pictures.
Well, we'll just put a clip of that right
there.
Yeah,
it was insane. It was very frustrating to be behind that car. So if you were some of the lucky people that were behind that car, leave us a comment below. Let us know how it made you feel.
Yeah. And then after we did Iron Mountain and Needles, we rode back through Sturgis, and you can see some footage of that here. Then the next day, we did a ride that I've never done.
Right, because we had been talking to people at the rally, and they were like, well, we did this and that, and we kept hearing Van Ucker Canyon. And that's something Kevin hadn't heard of because he didn't tell me about it, and it's not something I had looked into, but it's actually a pretty cool little route.
Yeah, and so that was a fun ride, and during that ride, we switched bikes. I rode the M8 Softail.
Yeah, and I rode the trike.
Rode the trike. We can put some footage of that up. The next day was our last day there, and we did the hill climb. We've not put out the hill climb video yet, but there's a hill climb video coming. That was just flat out amazing.
I'll put a short clip here, I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah, it was cool. It was, and I had climbed all the way up the hill just to catch good footage for you guys. So I hope you appreciate that because it was a steep hill.
Oh, yeah. And you did it a couple of times too, because you had to come back for water or batteries or something.
Yeah. So that's another thing. If you ever get a chance to go to the rally, check out the hill climb. I think the hill climb was a big part of what started the rally, what kicked off the rally, 80 some odd years ago. So definitely check that out. So let's talk about some of the things we learned about the rally from being there firsthand.
Okay.
First of all, I had heard all of these, watch out for the police. You better obey the law to a T. Put your feet down at every stop. Come to a dead stop. Don't wear sunglasses at night. Don't do this. Don't, wear white after Labor Day. And the vast majority of people I seen pulled over were actually in cages. So I seen a couple of bikes, but tenfold it was cars and trucks that were pulled over. So I know a lot of people are, of the notion the cops are out to get you, blah, blah, blah. But they're
happy we're there.
Right. So they were keeping the cars and trucks in check. And believe me, that was needed. There was some...
But people knew people were obeying the speed limit. I mean, if the speed limit's 35 most of the way between Buffalo Chip and Sturgis, maybe people were going 36, 37. There was no one going 45 or 50. Mm-hmm. They knew that they would get a ticket for that.
That's right.
So, and of course, they did away with that. One of the laws they had in Sturgis years ago was no handlebars above your shoulders, where the grips are above your shoulders. That law is gone. So, that's not an issue anymore.
Yeah. And here's another thing that I've come to realize. And this might sound hokey or whatever, but every single person I talked to there was super friendly, super nice. Didn't matter if it was some tattoo-faced 1%er guy or some dude just on, his midlife crisis journey. It was everybody there was welcoming and nice and eager to share information with you about you should go here or check this out or you don't really want to do that. So everybody was eager to help out there. I've seen plenty of people that were having mechanical issues with just a crowd around them trying to help them fix it. And there was a lot of people around campsites that were having issues in the mud that were getting a helping hand, getting their bikes back up on two wheels. And I think that Sturgis, in general, the rally catches a bad rap for being just a bunch of yuppies and this or that. And you might see your orthodontist there riding, but he's also riding next to a 1%er, and those are like-minded individuals that outside the rally, that's not the case. But there at the rally, we're all there for one thing, and that's just for the area. Everybody's there for one thing and to ride around in the Black Hills. So there's like a camaraderie. And there's no Harley guys shitting on BMWs and vice versa and this or that. Everybody's there. The people that are arguing about, I rode mine and blah, 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 all on the Facebooks, they don't say that shit at the rally. They just use that for their social media clout. Everybody there is very friendly and very welcoming.
And enjoying it, yeah. One thing that I learned is Mary and I have never been to the rally before. But we never go more than 3 years without riding in the Black Hills area, the Sturgis area. But we go before the rally or after the rally where there's not a lot of traffic. I was very surprised that there wasn't as much traffic as I thought there would be. Yeah. But I was it also confirmed, especially on the Needles Highway and Iron Mountain, that Mary and I have made the right decision to ride, because you can imagine how much fun that road is to ride if you don't see any other bikes or just one or two other bikes instead of thousands and thousands of bikes. So, I learned that it's good that we've gone not during the rally to enjoy the riding. But it also wasn't as bad. The traffic wasn't as bad.
Yeah, there was only a few times we were stopped due to traffic.
It wasn't as bad. And it might have been because people knew there was going to be a lot of rain, so the attendance was down a little. There was still close to 500,000 people there, and the traffic was not nearly as horrible as I thought. But it's bad enough that if I want to ride the Black Hills, it's not going to be during the rally. So as we were in Sturgis almost every day, we got to see a lot of things. Like we learned a lot about the CVO 121s, some police rodeo riding. I even rode a little Indian e-bike. And
we spoke with the guys, and I hope you guys aren't getting tired of our Insta360 footage, but we spoke with the guys from the Insta360 company, and they schooled us on some things, and we never would have learned about the CVO, rode that Indian electric bike, talked to those guys if we weren't at the rally.
And of course, we met a lot of people who recognized us from our YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And that was nice to meet with them. And we're not talking at the meet and greets. We're just talking, we're going down the street. Hey, you're Dwayne.
Hey,
DK. So it was a good time. And hopefully the people we met with enjoyed the meet and greets. And we certainly thank Clammy and Chuck for the interviews. That we were able to do with them.
Yeah. Now I know I just got done saying everybody's there is nice. And what I'm about to say is going to sound not so nice. But if you're going to the Sturgis rally, learn to ride your bike.
Oh.
Because I was actually surprised at how many people were dangerously ill-equipped at riding those roads. Those are not the roads you should be riding if you're less than a novice even. You know, we were behind some people that were just inching their way through hairpin curves. You know, that's sketchy. That's dangerous. I felt worried for some of the guys out there riding, you know, dragging their feet for, 50 yards, going like some of that stuff is not acceptable.
Yeah, and fortunately, there was not a lot of injuries or crashes. There's always going to be some when you have that many.
Yeah. For those of you thinking about going to the rally, don't get these preconceived notions like I had that, it's just yuppie fest and it's overcrowded and, it's this or that. At least go.
It's anything you want, man.
Right.
It is anything you want.
That's right. Go at least one time in your life. Just one time. Just as a bucket list item, just go one time at least. And if you hate it, you hate it. But I guarantee you there will be some lifetime highlights there. If you go and you're not into the big crowds, you're not into the bars and, this or that, you're gonna like something. You're gonna like seeing Mount Rushmore. You're gonna like riding Van Ocker Canyon. You're not gonna hate that. So just go at least one time in your life, just go. But if you have any questions at all about anything you've seen in this video or our experience in general, or would like our input on something, we're far from, vets at Sturgis. And we met some people that haven't missed a rally in 50 years. But that's not us. But if you would like our input, don't hesitate, man. Leave us a comment. Shoot us an email to support@dkcustomproducts.com. Give me a call. We'd be happy to share our experience with you more in depth.
You all right, safe out there.